So to catch Guillermo up to speed 30 years, I designed that logo probably in 1995.
Okay.
The name of the park was Slide and Glide, and I got Sunline Graphics to help with the cost of printing the shirts. We have Sunline Graphics on the sleeve. It was like my first co-sponsored order kind of a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Spill the Tea. Guillermo and I are going to talk to Ellen Berman, and she is a longtime friend and associate, and we are so excited to share this news today about the 12th annual T-shirt design contest. Hi, Ellen. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Good. We have such exciting news, and this year's T-shirt design contest is going to be held where Ellen happens to be the curator of the lobby, but I will let her explain that. But first, Ellen, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Wow. Sure. Just let me start by saying, as a young child, my mother was very artistic, and she would always include me in, when she had an easel and oil painting, she would get me an easel to oil paint alongside her. When she would do ceramics, she would take me to do ceramics. So she was the inspiration that has, I'm going to say, led me to where I am today. Okay, she was the road that I took. And in junior high school, I was very, very artistic. I remember my teacher, Mrs. Epstein. She just couldn't believe what I could do. In those days, we didn't have die-cut letters. I learned how to cut letters out of squares of paper and would do that for my teachers so they could decorate their bulletin boards. In those days, you know, you didn't have what you have these days. Anyway, fast forward, I was fortunate enough to go to the University of Hartford and study abroad in Spain my junior year in Madrid. And I was a Spanish major. And when I came back, I was lucky enough to get certified to teach and teach 1 year in Connecticut, in Windsor, Connecticut, when I lost my job because of budget cuts in those days. And I reinvented myself and I became a court stenographer. And I did that for 23 years. And that's when I met you, Meryl, when we moved down to Florida via New York for 17 years. We moved down to Florida in 1992. And I heard about a playground wanting to be designed by children and built by the community. And I went to one of their meetings with a binder and was taking notes. And somehow or other, I became the family fundraiser for Slide and Glide Playground. And that's when I met you in Coral Springs.
That's awesome. And at the time, we didn't have the name Slide and Glide.
No.
We put that out to the community, actually to the kids. And the kids were told to write down everything fun that they thought they wanted in a playground, because there was so many children in our community in Coral Springs. It was a family community, and that's why the families moved there with young children. And the kids said they wanted a water fountain or a tunnel or different kinds of things that they could, use in their imagination. And I think we put it out to like the elementary and the middle school kids and the high school kids. And somehow the name Slide and Glide was chosen.
Correct.
And I was kind of not new in the printing business, but new in my own business and wanted to get involved because I moved into Coral Springs about the same time that you moved into Coral Springs. And this is kind of like one of the things I talk about all the time about marketing. How do you market your business? Number one is you get involved in the community. Getting involved in your community is key to your success, because when you do something and you're giving, then you kind of get a different feeling and you understand your community better and you understand what the people are looking for and what they want. So So you're getting to know your community, you're giving of yourself, you're volunteering, you're making friends that have similar values that you have, and those type of friendships just create trust and long-lasting friendships. So if anybody's listening to this, the key thing to promoting yourself and promoting your business is, number one, get involved in your community, because then everybody can kind of see what you can do. So Ellen is wearing, if you want to model, you want to be our first t-shirt model today, the original from the 90s. That's a 90s look. And the slide and glide t-shirt. I can't believe that you still have that look how great the print is on there. Oh my God. And that's a lot of colors on that shirt. And that was screen printed. That was screen printed. That wasn't what we do now, the digital process. Now people freak out if it's more than 3 or 4 colors.
Well, not
right?
only that, but this shirt has, it's almost like a Timex clock. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking, because I did the walls at the entrance as a fundraiser for Slide and Glide Playground. And they are two 24-foot walls by 3 foot high that contain about 576 tiles that have handprints of the people who donated. At that time, it was $15 a tile to have their handprint if they were 2 years old and above, and if they were 1 year and 364 days, they had to do a footprint, and their footprint went on a tile. And that's what's at the entrance to the playground. That's what stands. That's the only thing now that stands from the original playground.
It's still there, which is really cool. I could definitely say that that the day that we actually built the whole playground in like a short period of time, like a couple of days, I think, actually 5 days.
5 days. Yeah.
That was actually built. Like everything was there, everything was planned, everything was out there. When we started hammering, I'm talking about like hammering the nails. And I remember coming home on that 5th day, I still remember the feeling of, wow, that was the coolest thing that happened. Just to actually see something, wood laying on the ground, and then a couple of days later, there is this magnificent playground. It was really emotional. It was a very emotional experience to actually build something like that.
I transferred the video that Ken did for us, the time-lapse video, onto a DVD, and I'll give it to you if you want it. But I want it back.
Okay.
Of the time-lapse of the 5 days, 1,200 people came out to build the playground.
That was incredible. And that was before social media. That was like knocking on doors and phone calls like, hey, come on out. Right. So you know what? You want to get something done, you get it done, right?
We did.
You get it done. So Guillermo and I have, Guillermo's been part of this contest for, I think, 3 years now. And 3 years. And every year it's different. We come up with the theme for the kids, and Guillermo gets to, we scan in all the artwork, and Guillermo gets to look at all the artwork and create the website for us, which is the t-shirt design contest.makeatonline.com. So thank you, Deco Network, for allowing us to have all of that great capabilities to be able to do stuff like that. And we do social media, we get it out there for the kids. And this year's contest is called, the theme is Silly Streets and Lands of Adventure. So when it came time for the contest, I was like, let me see, where are we going to do it this year? Because things have changed and there's not really been a venue in Coral Springs for the kids this year due to budget cuts and different things like you're talking about. And I was like, oh, my friend Ellen, she happens to be the curator of the lobby of this incredible location right on the beach. I know it's not in Coral Springs, but we'll be able to reach more kids, which is going to be a really, really cool thing. So I called you up and I'm like, hey, Ellen, what do you think of this? And right away, you jumped on it right away. You just and so my first question to you is, because we already did the icebreaker in the background, and now fast forward to today, and what gave you the approval for the to do the art to do the t-shirt design contest? What actually gave you that approval?
Well, what happened was when I started at Plunge, it was I was asked to come on as the curator effective January 1st, 2020. And I was told that I would be the manager and the curator of the program with our now, I would be co managing with Joe Imbrogno, who then was the director of guest experience or excellence. I always get that confused at Plunge. And we used to administer the program. Then he went up to being an assistant general manager, and now he's the general manager. So I'm the one in charge. I do go to him for
Okay.
the okay. But the way this came about was a few years ago, I was speaking with a woman who told me via a Facebook post that her son really didn't like school, but they were having a contest, a poster contest. And he went into his room and he stayed there for an hour and a half and he came out with this drawing. And I had an epiphany. I said, oh my God, we have Plunge into the Arts for emerging and professional artists. Now we have to have Kids Plunge into the Arts. Just going back,
Nice.
I was also a Spanish teacher at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. But in my class, I brought art into teaching Spanish. So I said, this is my epiphany. We're going to have Kids Plunge into the Arts. And we started Kids Plunge into the Arts. So when you came to me and said, would you like to do this? It was a no brainer. It was just a no brainer. Of course, let me go to Joe, say, is it okay? And he said yes. And so did Shelley, our assistant kind of general manager at Plunge in charge of events. And that's how it came to be. Kids are the future. So to get them involved in art
Yeah.
as young as we can is the best thing that we can do, as far as I'm concerned. That's my opinion.
Right. Right. One of the really greatest things, and Guillermo knows this also, is that when we see the kids' artwork, and some of the art is incredible. Some of the art is like that they spent, like you said, an hour and a half. That they spent an hour and a half or more, maybe even like a week on their artwork. The detail. I mean, when we see the art, that some of the detail is where are they thinking of this stuff? It's great. And then they use different mediums. But then when these kids see their artwork on a t-shirt, when they see it printed, the look on their face is like it looks like they just won $1 million. I mean, like they just opened a treasure chest. It is just the neatest thing to see, the looks on their face, because they don't even imagine it, because it's not something that they see every single day. They'll draw in their class, they'll see it on the wall, they'll see it on the fridge, but then when they see it on a t-shirt, they just, it's kind of crazy. We have this little thing where it's a button machine, and we make they're like a 3.5-inch button. I have one, but I'm not going to go get it. And whenever we do an event, we bring the button machine out, and kids draw on it, adults draw on it. Sometimes sometimes we make something where they can color in, like a coloring book kind of a thing.
Yes.
And then sometimes it's blank for their own imagination. And when they see what they drew made into a button, it's the same expression. It's the same kind of like, wow. And that is it's just really, really incredible. And I know that Guillermo, we've seen some really good artists, some of these young kids.
Yeah, when you said, when I do the mock-ups of the artwork on a t-shirt, I don't know what happens that artwork, whatever it is, it gets like a plus. It's different. It's not the same looking at the artwork on a fridge, even on a frame. When you put it on a t-shirt, I don't know what it is. Every time I told her, oh, I really like this one. Who drawn it? A 4-year-old kid. Well, it's amazing. Looks amazing on a t-shirt. I don't know why. I'm not kidding. And yeah, this is the part that I really like from a distance of the contest. I never been there in person. Hope in the future, but it's looking the artworks on a t-shirt. I don't know what it is. It's really great, and I understand why kids love them. on a t-shirt. I don't
Well,
know.
Mhm.
and at Plunge, when they come in after I install their art on the walls and they see it as an exhibit, and then they can stand in front of it and their art is for sale, and then someone buys it,
Mhm.
an amazing event
Maybe
for these students, you
maybe
know.
that's it. That's it's because not only the parents will look at it or wear it, it's anyone can wear it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Anybody can go and see it, buy it, or wear that T-shirt, and the kids get, oh,
Exactly. Exactly.
Right, right. And that's how t-shirt artists have, got to start also, or, artists in general that put their artwork on merchandise. That's how they get a start. When you go to, these merch stores, you can buy a painting, like for example, like say Kelly Merker with her heart art. So her heart art is on canvas, but then she has her artwork also on a t-shirt or a mug or a towel or a mouse pad or anything like that. Same thing with, with Omari. And, they can sell their art framed, but not everybody can afford to buy a painting. But a t-shirt is something that,
yeah.
plus of course, you wear a t-shirt, you walk around with it, you're a walking billboard for that, for that artist,
It's
obviously.
it's free speech.
It's free speech, right,
Yeah.
right. Free speech, right, right. So how do you think the contest will inspire young artists in our community?
It's going to give them the new outlet of not only seeing their art um, on the walls, because a group of participants that we already know that are going to be participating in this art show t-shirt the t-shirt event is Fort Lauderdale
Mhm.
High School's visual arts department. So you have ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. I'm not sure how many of each grade will be in it, but approximately 40 to 45 students will be in it. And clearly, their JPEGs will be sent to you, Guillermo. The teacher knows how to do it
Mhm.
because he does that for the advanced placement exams. He always does that, and he knows how to name them for you. But whoever wins, and when theirs is put onto T-shirts, I mean, that's going to impact these kids because they're already artistic because they're in this class anyway. But they're the ones
Mhm.
that are going on to upper, schooling, into college, applying to colleges. So the impact to them can be phenomenal, as well as to the young kids who are going to do it. I mean, the young kids, you never know. I mean, when I heard one of my students who I taught Spanish to at Douglas High School. She went on because of me to become a Spanish teacher. So things impact
Really?
these students amazingly. Yeah. Yeah, I got a call from her. She said, "Can I write about you?" My professor wants us to write who inspired us to be doing what we're doing. So maybe
Wow.
maybe they'll do that, to make a tea online. You never know. It's very
They might.
exciting.
They might.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, when we started the contest, we really kind of did it because we had it. We were offered a table at the local carnival,
Right.
and I just didn't want to be at a carnival and hand out, hey, we do printing. I wanted, and it was a carnival. You want to go there and have a good time. So we came up with activities for the kids, and then we thought of the contest. And of course, at that time, we only had, I think, maybe like 30 entries in the contest. So we had all 30 shirts, and it kept evolving to something bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. And last year we had probably our biggest in-person voting, where we were counting the votes at night, and it was over 1,500 votes that we counted. Well, actually, I fell asleep. My husband finished counting them.
Diane.
I was like, I can't
Shout
stay up
out
any
to Ed.
longer. I'll do it in the morning. I'll get up at 4. I'll do it in the morning. If no, we're finishing now. And I'm like conking out because I had worked the booth all day long and I was so tired. But we had, oh my God, so many online votes, like, I don't know, in the thousands, like 4,000, 5,000 online votes all around the world. And people are still going on to our Facebook page, and I'll still see a notification where so and so liked such and such artwork, and that's like really, really incredible. I don't, it's like really neat. Although we have a cutoff, like at the cutoff is when we calculate the votes. What we're doing this year is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have a panel of judges that are going to judge the core. That's going to be the core thing they're going to judge. Plus, people are going to go into Plunge. So Plunge is actually going to have the shirts in their lobby for a week before the contest. I think it's May 17th to May 24th. And people can go in and vote. If that's the exact dates, I have to look back. I'll put it in the description on the podcast.
I think it's May 17th through the 23rd, because you're going to count.
We're going to count.
23rd,
Right,
we're having
right,
the event. Yeah.
We're having the event. So they're going to be there the 17th through the 20th. Well, they will still be there the 24th anyway for the kids to pick up.
Correct.
And we'll count the votes, and so the winners will be chosen by the judges plus the in-person votes. So any guest at Plunge will be able to look at the artwork. And so I don't know how many. I'm sure you have guests. You have like 4 different buildings there that are going to have the opportunity to vote. And then the online votes will be called our social media winners. And those are always fun because that's more like of a popularity contest, but it's a lot of fun for those awards as well. Plus our panel of judges will choose their favorites. And it's kind of neat that all the kids that are finalists that are chosen as finalists are going to get their T-shirt, they're going to get goodie bags, they're going to get ribbons, and we're fortunate enough this year because it's at Plunge, so it's elevating our contest quite a bit, and we so far have 5 sponsors for the contest, and so that's really, really neat. And if I can name them, if you want to get on that list, call me up and you could be a sponsor. Right now we have Responsive Home Healthcare as a sponsor, and Venetian Nail Spa in the Pompano City Center is a sponsor. Tyrell Tech, who we actually buy a lot of media supplies from, inks and vinyls, and they're a local outlet for the printing industry in the community and in the country as well. So that's really great. That I'm so thrilled that they are going to be a sponsor. And we have Make Our Schools Safe as a sponsor. And one of the Mary Kay representatives, Jeanette Dethridge, she's going to be a sponsor. So that will be able to get us nicer gifts and nicer awards for the winners. So I'm really, really thrilled to have them. And anybody else, they're just going to go straight to the awards for the kids. So I'm really, really excited about that. Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. So like before somebody sees you, they look at what you're wearing, and you're kind of like already advertising who you are if you have a graphic T-shirt on. If it's something, that is meaningful to you, like not something that you just throw on in the morning, but like, for example, I'm wearing a Spill the Tea T-shirt. You're wearing the Slide and Glide T-shirt. I'm not sure what you're wearing.
No, this is a 80s style T-shirt. That's a regular T-shirt.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, right. You're an 80s baby. So,
yeah.
So, right. So a T-shirt is a means of a message and also self-expression. Yeah. And we find that a lot of the kids in they get recognition in sports or in school if their grades are good, but the artsy kids don't always get the same recognition that way. They're kind of like shyer sometimes or a little more introverted. They're not always on the stage, and this is a really good opportunity to give them also the applause that they deserve because of their creativity.
As I said, kids are our future, and any way that their creativity can be used in a positive way, and this is clearly a positive way. The theme, Silly Streets and Lands of Adventure, allows them to, think wonderful things, hopefully, and create wonderful things. And I'm hoping this is just going to be a positive effect for these children and their children, I want to go back to being a kid, honestly.
Yeah.
You're still a kid. You're
I
still
know,
a kid. What are you talking about?
but anyway, I think that, the inspiration of these children having a T-shirt of their own art, and possibly their parents buying the T-shirt for the parents, to wear it. It's like when someone's having a baby and you say you have a big brother, and it says, the T-shirt says, "I'm the big brother," or I'm gonna be the big brother, I'm gonna be the big sister, I'm gonna be the mom, or I'm gonna be the dad. I mean, it's a great thing to be able to say things on your shirt that are positive.
Right.
And
All
they
Right.
will be
Right.
able to express themselves in ways that not usually they do, because nowadays kids spend more hours a day with a computer, a TV, or a phone, a tablet, whatever, and
Exactly.
they don't. You said before, a kid, when you had the story about the kid that didn't like school but spent hours drawing for a poster contest.
Exactly.
That level of expression, I guess it applies or to a kid on a T-shirt, that they're going to express themselves. Don't care if the drawing is well drawn or colorful, or they are expressing themselves, and they're going to wear that expression every day on the T-shirt. I mean, that's by itself, it's amazing.
Well,
Guillermo, how old were you when you found out that you were creative? We never talked about
I guess I was in third grade. I liked the drawing, and this is funny. I started selling the Simpsons, the Bart Simpson, Homer Simpson drawings, so two other kids, so they can draw on it. So I made a big drawing and started selling those. I was an artist and a businessman.
an entrepreneur.
Okay.
An entrepreneur you were.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah,
In third grade.
yeah,
In third grade.
yeah.
That's cool. And then did you ever what did you use? Pencil or
Only
marker or paint?
my go-to tool is a pencil and a paper. I know how to draw with color and stuff, but I'm not good at it. So it's just a pencil and start drawing. All my drawings are pencil based. So yeah,
I think
I like that to draw,
sorry.
but when I was older and I get to college, I didn't study graphic design right away. For some reason, I started studying here like engineering. So
Mhm.
after the first month, I say no, that's not for me.
That's funny because almost every person I know, like I went to school, I studied accounting. I'm like, why am I studying accounting? And my son Jordan, he studied business. And he said, "Mom, I can't do this. I got to go to graphic design."
Yeah,
Like it's like so weird. Like you try because you think it'll be a better profession, whatever, and then it's like I can't do it. Like right away when you not sometimes not right away, but it's not going to work. You have to follow your heart. That's how that's the kind of people we are. You have to follow your heart and do what you like. I mean, we would be like, can't even imagine what we would be like if we were all buttoned up in a in
yeah,
a tie and a suit and a jacket.
Like Helen's student that told her that she's going to be a Spanish teacher. I mean, that's for me, that's amazing because I don't get in contact with any of my previous teachers. So hearing a story that a student kept in touch with a teacher, that's I don't know, it's really great.
Yeah, that is really nice. At one of our contests a couple of years ago, this young man came over, and I kind of recognized him, and he had been in our contest, like one of the first contests, and he said that he's in college now because 12 years ago, if they were in middle school, now they can have children of their own already, and it was like really kind of neat. Like he was happy to see me, and he said he still has his T-shirt, and he inspired his girlfriend to go into artwork because of what he did, and yeah, it was it was neat. And there are kids that have used their contest finalist status that to apply to college, and I was really like taken back when I heard that. And because they have to put down like all of your different awards and everything you've gotten, and the fact that they use what we created kind of really humbled me a lot, knowing that we've actually done something more than what I thought we were doing, to actually really inspire people, and not knowing that you're inspiring them is really like kind of like a little bit like very, very humbling, so it just makes we always have to be good people, because you don't know who's watching you, or who's imitating you. So, yeah. And I think also the fact that I think that you can talk about Plunge a little bit and tell everybody how really incredible the lobby is.
Well, that's humbling. um, Plunge Beach Resort is an amazing place to be, and a member of the employee family. That's first and foremost. They treat they treat the employees like family, and everybody cares about everybody, and everybody helps everybody. And when I got to Plunge Beach via my ceramics. I was selling my ceramics on Riverfront. After I retired from Stoneman Douglas High School, I went back to taking ceramics course, and I called up an artist, and I asked them what should I do, and they said, "Oh, go down to Riverfront, Riverwalk, and sell it on Sunday at the jazz brunch." And I did, and that's when I was what do they call it when someone sees your work, and I was discovered on Riverwalk. As an artist.
Nice.
I was discovered on Riverwalk as an artist by the executive director, Patricia Zeiler, at the History Fort Lauderdale. And she called me and asked me to create an artist in residency program on the third floor that was all storage. And I created 6 artist residency spots, cleaning out their rooms and actually calling up friends, and 6 artists were up there, and they're still up there. I'm not one of them anymore, but I was the creator, curator, and manager of the program and the ceramic artist. And that was my leapfrog to Plunge, because Plunge wanted to start an art program at Plunge Beach Resort's lobby, and Bonnet House Artists and New River Artists Cooperative, which is what our name was at the museum, became the feed for Plunge into the Arts. And I was the first artist in the area that we call the A area. And Tammy Seymour was the first artist. She was the first one to install in the B area. I was the second in the A area, meaning we were the first 2 artists in October of 2019. And we installed our art on the walls using picture wire. They installed lights, and we put our art on the columns and on the walls there. And from there, they asked me to become the curator of art starting January of 2020. This was 2019, and that's how I leapfrogged there. We only had 2 areas at that time, and that was fine. And we started to have our artist open houses every other Wednesday evening, and the artist's art was in for 4 weeks. But then what happened in 2020 in March. We closed down because of the pandemic, but we continued on via Zoom on Friday nights, and we had artist talks from artists' homes. And Plunge Beach, as you said, is pretty big. We have, I think, 163 rooms in 4 different buildings. We closed down our 2 tower buildings because there were elevators, and we kept our bungalows open during the pandemic because you could walk upstairs to your rooms, so you didn't have to be in an elevator. And those were the rooms we used. But we kept installing then in our lobby art gallery, and we would have um, Zoom Friday night events because nobody could go anywhere. So we had a lot of people coming in, and that's how we would have our artist talks. And we did that. And what happened at Plunge was right after the pandemic, the gentleman who designed or decorated Plunge came back to Plunge and saw what program I had created and how big it had gotten, and he said, "Take down all my art and expand the program." So we expanded it. About 400 more inches of art could be installed. So then we had the A, the B, the C area, and you saw, Meryl, the front wall where we'll probably have all the T-shirts in front of, which is our
Mhm.
iconic surfboard wall. But I also install art there, and so it's expanded to the A, the B, the C, and now that iconic front wall. And the kids plunge into the arts program, and now we have the T-shirt contest coming into
Yay!
our,
Yeah.
plunge into the arts, kids plunge into the arts program. So my goal was for every year that I'm there, the program has expanded. And then this year also, what we expanded into was our 3D area, which is a display case that's about 72 inches wide by 72 inches high with 9 cubbies in it. And actually, Fort Lauderdale High School's visual arts teacher is going to have his ceramics students do ceramics to go into the display case. I don't know. We'll see if we can take pictures of those, but they're going to have the same theme.
Mhm.
That would be
Mhm. Okay.
pretty
Oh,
cool. So they're going to have the same
oh yeah, that'd be
theme.
very cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
that
don't
would
know
be
if I
very cool.
answered your
Mhm.
question, but what was
Well,
your
when you
question?
first pull up, I don't remember when you first pull up. I mean, it's really, I'm gonna use the word quirky. It's a really quirky, kind of a funky, quirky facility because, well, first of all, it's got this huge parking lot on the beach. Like, where do you get a huge parking lot on the beach? The beach is across the street with a restaurant, a swimming pool, a hotel, and bar, and which is great. Always have that's always great. And then across the street, before you even go into the lobby, well, there's this big mural. You kind of feel like you're in Wynwood, which is the artsy section of Miami, and then kind of like Key West, because when you walk in, well, first of all, the outside, there's like a whole huge seating area outside, I don't know, like a veranda
Yeah,
outside. And then you walk in and you see the front desk, and the front desk is all covered with stickers. It
absolutely.
so reminds me of like the Green Parrot in Key West, like stickers all over everything. It's like you feel like you automatically go in there and you feel like you're in Florida, you're on the beach, you're having a good time. It's just, and the high ceilings, and it's very industrial, like with the columns and everything. And then there's another bar, and there's a coffee shop, and there's a huge meeting room. And you just go in, and it's like, what do you, and then you see the lights hanging that Ellen was talking about earlier. And it's like, what do you don't even know what to look at first, because you just feel like you're in an art district, funky, quirky. You're not sure where you are, and but it's just like you feel good. You feel good, like you feel creative when you go in there with all of the stuff and the columns, and Ellen hangs the artwork on there, and it's just really neat. But the first impression, you see the mural outside, and then the front desk with all the stickers on it, and it's just great.
Well,
It's just
well,
great.
that
And you showed me pictures of what it looked like before you did it. It was like empty. It was a shell. Hmm.
it's been an amazing journey, and the
Hmm.
owners and the owner representative and our former um, general manager Tom Mulroy and Joe Imbrogno, are just he's our general manager now. They're just so supportive of, I should take the word just out of, they are so supportive of the program, of the arts, of the artists, of the children. You were talking about what t-shirts can do for you in marketing and everything else. Well, this is the same type of thing. Instead of putting it on a t-shirt, we're putting art on columns and art on walls to support artists and support kids in the arts. And the beauty of the program also is not just the guests that stay there, because you were talking about, oh, how many people will be seeing these t-shirts. We have 163 rooms, and if you take that and you say, in May, could be a lot of people there, but they rotate in and out, and the shirts are going to be there for a week. And then we have our locals walk through, because our locals are big walkers, and they all come through and go to the coffee shop and walk through the art lobby. And we're going to have to put some posters up to say, please, vote for the t-shirts you like, etc. that week. But it's a cool place. I'm so
Yeah.
thrilled that I'm part of it. I feel honored to be the curator of art there.
No,
It's
telling how a kid can be a part of, besides of the teacher contest, how a regular kid that can be a part of Kids Plunge into the Arts.
well, they can always pick up the phone and call me 954-551-9795. But
You
or
put it
text
in the
me.
description.
They can
Text.
text me. Let them text me first. And then honestly, what they can do is they can go to their teachers in their schools to say, can we be part of this program? And that's really the way to do it. Or to get a group like Girl Scouts or Brownies or Boy Scouts or any group. I mean, we have the Boys Club, we have the Girls Club. We haven't reached out to all these people. The beauty of this program is we have grown. So now people are calling me, or writing me to be artists in the lobby art gallery. At the very beginning, I was looking for the artists, but now what the artists are doing is they're spreading the word. So it's the same concept of, like, when Merrill does and you do the t-shirt design contest, having kids plunge into the arts, we'll just have to market it that way too.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's what we're doing. So we want everybody who's watching, please. So I always say, stalk us on Instagram. Just stalk us and find on social media. We want the stalkers. We want you to find us. We want to have dialogue with you. We want you to see what we're doing. And at Plunge, was it March 30th? When are we having? March
29th,
29th.
I
It's a
think it is.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
29th is a Saturday. Kids can actually go to Plunge and draw and enter the contest there if some kids are homeschooled or whatever and they want to learn about the program a little bit, they can actually go to Plunge. Do you know what time we're going to be doing that? I don't think
I'm
I've
not
wrote.
exactly sure, but I would guess it. I don't know yet. Shelley at Plunge is figuring all that out. But
Mhm.
once we know, we'll get that to you and we'll put it out there. But it'll
Yeah,
definitely be sometime
yeah.
daytime.
Yeah, we'll post it on the website. And we'll post it on
Right.
social media. The time that they can go there, and we're trying to get some other areas also to have kids entering the contest if they don't have, if maybe they don't have crayons, or maybe they don't have paint, or they don't have pencils or paper or whatever, and they can enter the contest. And then also, like we said the week before, we're going to have the shirts out there for people to vote. And then the night before, we're going to have like a little reception to, try to get people to vote. I'll
The
be
night
there.
the night before, because we've just moved our artist receptions to Friday nights. Starting this Friday night is our first Friday night artist reception, they used to be for 5 years on Wednesday nights. Now they're on Friday nights, starting the 28th of February.
Mhm.
And on the 23rd, we are having an artist open house. So that's going to be in conjunction with anybody who wants to come to Plunge for the t-shirts, to vote on the t-shirts also. So when we're making the promos up, we'll put in that you can vote on the t-shirt designs that night at that reception.
Right, right. And then I have a surprise. I hope it's going to be approved by you and by Shelley. 5678 Dance would like to do a little performance on Saturday at Plunge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they'll bring their
That
own
sounds
music.
great.
Yeah, right. So that means it's approved. So
Well, we have
they'll
to speak to the powers that be. I mean, I don't think there will be a problem, but I can't say yes off the top of my head. But I don't think it will be a problem.
Okay, that would be a lot of fun, and that means more people to see everything and to see what incredible work you do in the lobby, and how excited we are about the contest every year. So that would be great. Actually, 5678 Dance used to dance at the Our Town Carnival where we had the T-shirt contest, and they would have the big tent and the stage, and the dance schools would go and they would do their performances, and they were one of the dance schools that did a performance, and they also don't have the venue anymore, the local venue anymore. And so she was like so excited when I mentioned it, and she said, "Oh, can we bring our dancers there?" And I said, I'm going to surprise Ellen today on the podcast. Where she can't say
Thanks
no.
for the heads up.
Where she can't say no, I'm going to put her on the spot. But that'll be a lot of fun, and maybe those kids would also enter the contest as well. So
I think that's a great partnership. Let's send them the application to them and say, "Hey, let's be part of the contest too."
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great. We tried getting to the kids is difficult, and in all the years we've done the contest, it's getting, like you're saying, the groups and the organizations, and sometimes we go to the Girl Scouts and the different teams, and you always think that the schools have the most amount of kids, but not all schools have an art teacher or an art program. So they used to years ago, but things have changed. So having a connection with the schools that have the art programs is really amazing, because they're given it almost as as an assignment to do, and it's
Right.
not. Yeah, and so you get that works out really good for both you and for us as well, which is really nice. So wow, do you realize that we have been talking for about an hour already? We just lost Guillermo, I think, for a minute.
Yeah, he was trying to reconnect.
Yeah. We'll see if he reconnects and gets back. And so we had this whole list of things to talk about. I think we kind of covered a lot of it. I don't know. One thing we didn't talk about was when we print artwork on a T-shirt, we use a water-based eco-friendly ink, and it's a digital print. So you give us hand-drawn art, and then we translate that into a file, like you were saying, that the art teacher will give us a JPEG of the artwork. We transfer that we don't transfer it. We actually print that file onto the shirts using what's called a direct-to-garment print method, which is a water-based ink, eco-friendly ink. We're not making screens or films or setup, and we're just printing directly onto the shirt, and that's what gives it the vibrancy, the full color. We can get small detail. We can get every color in the rainbow on that T-shirt. So you're actually really getting a very good depiction of the artwork, as opposed to having to separate the colors, like on your sliding glass shirt, those are spot colors. And, as opposed to doing that. So that's what's also really kind of neat about putting artwork onto a T-shirt, because it really does look like the artwork. So
Right.
that's pretty cool. Like a photograph. And then let's see here. how can people learn about the contest? Well, you can go on to Make a Tea Online on Instagram. You can go on to Make a Tea Online on Facebook. You can call us here at the office. You can just keep following us. Go to the website, which is thetshirtdesigncontest.makeateaonline.com. And we have all of the information there. And we are going to be handing out flyers at local art festivals. Every networking group that I'm in, I just tell everybody about the contest, sharing it with everybody. Everybody's so excited that it's a Plunge this year. They're like, oh my gosh, my cousin lives down the street. They walk there all the time, or this or that, or it's really going to be a big, exciting change for us, change of scenery for us that I welcome like tremendously. Plus, working with you again, Ellen, your creativity, just shines through on everything you do. And everything you do, you make into a successful, beautiful project that, from 30 some years ago. Oh my God. That's why I'm like, got to get these wrinkles off my neck.
We were only 12 years old when that happened, though.
We were only 12 years old. Right. And still standing. So I guess that's good, right? Which is
Actually,
really...
today happens to be my son's birthday, so I keep telling him, "You're getting older, and I'm marching in place."
Right. Exactly. Well, doing stuff like we do and being in the creative world definitely keeps us inspired, and inspiration is what keeps people going, right? If you don't have a purpose, you kind of fade. But having a purpose, and especially being around young kids and teenagers, and it's like it just keeps my brain going. I want to know where they're coming from, what they're doing. Like you said, they're our future. They're going to be the ones feeding us in the home. So we better be nice to them.
Right.
So Ellen, I want to thank you. I know you're going on a trip to Europe, and I'm sure we'll be communicating while you're still on that trip. And we're having weekly meetings to make this the best T-shirt design contest that we have ever had. We're going to make our 12th like it's the party like it's 1999. We're going to it'll be really, really great. And remember our theme, Silly Streets. I keep thinking of like the game Candyland when I think of Silly Streets and Lands of Adventure. I just think of like all the this sweet shop and that corner and this, like everything like cute and fun and happy and everything. I do want to bring up something. One time we had kind of like a serious theme for the T-shirt contest. It was like, who's your hero? And, and we got beautiful artwork. But it wasn't so happy all the time. It wasn't like really happy artwork. It was more like something that was just more thought-provoking. And not that there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And we decided after that the themes really had to be something that brought a lot of happiness, something that was more fun and happiness. We had a great year when we had our theme was magic. And then, and then last year it was, outer space, or anything with space. And it was just, we're going to keep doing topics that are happy and fun, because we really do need that in this world, especially for kids. We don't want, we want to just keep their imagination going. So at least that's how I feel about it. So anyway, well, Ellen, thank you so much.
Happy times now, please. I
What's
want
that?
happy times now, please.
Yes,
I want happy times now, please.
Yes, happy times. So thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much for joining us on Spill the Tea. And we got to get you a mug. We'll drop one off at Plunge.
Fabulous.
And thank you so much for being with us on Spill the Tea. And we're looking forward to our next conversation. So bye, everybody.
Here's Guillermo. Guillermo's back.
All right, Guillermo, you made it back.
I have a question in my mind all the whole time of the podcast about you, Meryl. How does it feel to see a 30-year-old design of yours?
How does it feel to be an old design of mine? Oh my God. Well, I wish I kept a shirt. I wish I had one of those shirts. It's funny because that design was actually done in, okay, so this is a long time ago, and my first computer that I had for doing graphics, believe it or not, was a black and white monitor. And I had to do artwork in color, but in black and white. And I was able to, well, before in the conversation, Ellen was talking about like stencil lettering, and we used to have, God, I can't remember the name of the stuff. Like letra set, like we would rub on the letters if we were making headlines for things, or we would have these cameras called Pos One cameras. We'd have to like crank the film and then crank the film and then take the letters and like you had to burn the letters into the film. So like when you're looking for like a headline, because I started in paper printing, so we were doing like newspapers and magazines, and we had basically that was like huge technology to have a camera. But we would have press type. It was called press type, and we would rub the copy on. Like you couldn't really do it with a paragraph, but you could do it with a headline. You would rub the letters on to make the headline. And then we had tape. Do you remember the tape that we used to have? It's like it was in a roll, and it was, I guess now they call it washi tape, but we would put these like if we were designing an ad, we would put the tape down. We would type on like a like a typewriter of sorts. It was called like what was it called? Like a, oh my God, I forgot the name of it. Like a letra set. We would type, and then the film would come out, and then we would cut it out, and we would put wax on the back, and we would paste up. It was called paste up.
It's like a cricket, the old-fashioned cricket.
Well, right, but you would type on it. It was like a
Right,
electronic typewriter that would come out with
right,
film instead of paper, not like you're putting paper in.
right.
And we would have to we would set copy up like that. But you put wax on the back of it, and then you cut it out with a scissors and then or X-Acto knife, and you have to line it up perfectly. Then you take a picture of it. So and everything was in black and white, and then you would print the print would be the color of the ink. So let's say you're going to print a two-color piece, or you're going to print the cover of a magazine that was a spot color magazine. You would have to cut out. You put like a red ruby lith. It was called ruby lith, and it was either red or orange. You would cut out the different colors and you overlay it on top of each other. So if you had a picture and part of the picture was red, and then part of the picture was blue, and then part of the picture was green, you would have to lay down the ruby lith on top of it. So you would make film, like a stack of film, and you couldn't put two colors together because you can't mix ink like that. And so that enabled me to be able to look at a black and white screen and be able to tell the difference of what is green, what is yellow, what is orange, because it was different shades. So that's
Right.
what I had to do back then. And I think that I probably had that black and white monitor at the time of Slide and Glide when we created that artwork. And it was done in probably Corel Draw 1. Yeah, it was so it looks neat. I'm happy that the screen print lasted all that long. Probably the shirt has holes in it. I don't know. But
And and that's the other thing. My compliments to Helen. I mean, 30-year-old T-shirt, just in mint. I don't have a 10-year-old T-shirt. I don't have that. So
right.
And this t-shirt was washed continuously because I would get all of this, underglaze on it because I would literally wipe my hands on my tush.
uh,
So it was either my shorts or the t-shirt that got it, and then I would go on to doing another handprint. So this t-shirt took a licking, but kept on ticking. What I was trying to find, and I know I still have, Meryl, is do you remember those certificates you made for us when we had that dinner in Coral Springs where they honored all of us and they gave us a standing ovation?
I remember
It was
that. I don't remember the
okay.
certificate.
I have it somewhere, and I was looking high and low for it today to show it to you. If I find it, I know I still have it,
Okay.
but I have it, and it has this logo on it also.
I may have it because I actually have one of those black portfolio attaché cases. I've got a couple of them with really old stuff in it. And so I may actually have that in there because I'm thinking like maybe it's ringing a bell that I know I've seen the logo somewhere on some old stuff. Every time you move, you try to like get rid of old stuff and get rid
Exactly.
of more and more stuff. So,
I thought I still had the banner. I was looking for it today. I couldn't find it unless I put it somewhere, but I had the big banner that you made with
uh-huh.
the logo.
Yeah, I remember that banner. Now that was vinyl on a white banner, like on a banner.
Exactly.
Right. It
Yeah.
was vinyl on a banner. Right. That's how we used to do it. Now you just print the banner, right? You just print
I
it.
know.
Everything is digital. Like this. This is all digital. Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
very, very cool. So it's
Well,
it's pretty.
Guillermo, I'll never forget when I was when Meryl and I were living in Carl Springs, and I was doing my daughter's bat mitzvah. She was 12 years old, and I got a an ad in the in the mail, and it was glossy paper, and on one side it was the ad and the back side was glossy paper, and I came up with an idea for my daughter's invitation on the diamond. Okay, and I did it in PowerPoint, and Meryl comes over to my house, and I printed it on my printer on the diamond because I was able to turn everything because it was a square, right? And I turned it on the 90 degrees so it would come out on the diamond. And I said to her, "Could you make an invitation like this for Gabby's bat mitzvah? Because her birthday is Valentine's Day." And she goes, "How the hell did you do that?" And I said, "I used PowerPoint to do it." And
I
she's like,
didn't
"You're
even know what
incredible."
PowerPoint was.
Right.
Power of
And
That's
but I
PowerPoint.
used that as my program to do it, and then I went to either Joann's and or Michael's, and I got little all different color pink hearts because her birthday is Valentine's Day. And once Meryl, she goes, "Sure, give it to me," and I gave it to her, and she did it the way printers do it, or graphic designers do it, and she printed them for me. And then when I got them, I put the little hearts on them and sent them out. Meryl got one of them. Good.
You embellished them. Yeah, yeah. And for Stephanie's bat mitzvah, Steffi's invitation was, do you remember those things you open it up? It's like it has numbers on the outside of it. And you open it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you open it up.
Yes, yes, yes.
It was, I forget what are they called, those things? It's like a
A finger thing. The
finger
finger.
thing. Finger thing.
Right.
Yeah. Guillermo, they have
The
those in
puzzle.
Venezuela. Yeah.
Yeah, the ones
It's
that
like
you like
you
Yeah.
fold up the
yeah,
paper and it's like a kite kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was Steffi's invitation for her bat mitzvah. I had things on all four sides, and I mailed them in a box so that they were intact. And you would open up like on this date, her bat mitzvah, and you open it up in the time and everything. It was really cool. It was on a vellum, like a frosted vellum, so you could fold it and you can kind of see through it. It was real pretty. It was like pink.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But in those days, we used to have corded phones, and we didn't have cell phones too.
right.
Well, cell phones came out in the late 90s, actually. I had them,
You
but they were
have,
very expensive.
yeah,
I had a cell phone. I had a cell phone because I was a court reporter then, and I'd have to go to Miami, and I had one of the first cell phones, the bricks.
the big
yeah,
one, yeah.
right.
Well, I didn't have the brick, but I had Nokia or whatever it was. Anyway, but good
Yeah,
times,
I had
good
a beeper.
times.
Right, I had a beeper. And then you get a message from saying you have to pull over on the side of the road. You have to find a payphone to call somebody. So,
A payphone.
like no payphone, like Superman.
We're Guillermo, we're dating ourselves, right? We're
Yeah,
dating ourselves.
The
right.
word process, I remember all those stuff. I remember the break, the payphones, I remember everything.
What? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get back to work.
Ellen, it was nice to talk to you. Un gusto hablar contigo. Gracias.
Okay.
Spill the tea.